What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. We have a very special one on our hands today as we're diving more into EXO because I felt kind of bad for not being able to react to them as often as I would like because I really, really love these guys. And we had a bit of a surprise as of today, me recording this video on the 12th of June. The pre-release music video, which was dropped by a surprise just out of nowhere, so it felt like. Let Me In, I believe is the name of the song. I felt like this would be a perfect opportunity to do a bit of a spotlight reaction and checking out some music videos that I feel like are going to be, from the titles of them, it feels like it's going to be a little bit more optimistic and a little bit more on the positive side and not as much darkness within the songs as we're kind of used to, or I'm used to with some of my EXO reactions, especially a song like Love Me Right, which obviously was covered on more than a couple of occasions on various survival shows. To me, the most notable one was the recent one with Boys Planet, which was absolutely incredible by both groups, but obviously I'm very biased towards Pentagon's Hotek, so I absolutely adored his high note and just the overall performance. But you know, Jay did a phenomenal job on the show as both groups did a great job. But that's the only song that I actually do know from the ones that we're about to check out, and I'm very excited to actually listen to the original. So we'll be checking out Call Me Baby, Love Me Right, Don't Fight the Feeling, and then the brand new pre-release music video, Let Me In. So without further ado, let's get into it. Level up. That was cool. Nice.
욕심들 속에 나를 선 그 어떤 말도 넘어서 그 믿음을 보여준 너.
Oh, you magnificent soul. Come on.
날 이끌어줄 빛이 되고 놓치지 않아줄 너라면 Baby 널 안고 뱉지 않을게 널 안고 나를 떠나버린 사람들과 마주해 Never the mind about a thing 내 가슴 속 그 거대한 공백에 널 더해
Man, holy shit, this song is so much fun. Oh. God damn. Okay, so I actually had to double check the date on this video because even though I planned this reaction from the oldest video to the newest one, I still had to make sure because if you were to tell me that the song was released like a month ago or a year or 2 years ago, I would 100% believe you. It feels as fresh back then as it would be if it was released right now. It's incredibly catchy. There's something in the song that I kind of feel like a broken record saying this because I literally just mentioned it with Shiny's Sherlock, where the beat in that song kind of like reminded me of Michael Jackson. But here, like there's something about the vibe of the song, nothing specific in terms of like drums or anything, but just something within the song that gives me vibes of Michael Jackson for some reason. I absolutely adore the soft vocals on this song. The video itself, I would not think that it has much to do with like the lore of EXO. As far as the lyrics themselves go, looking at a website that kind of like describes the lyrics, it's basically the lyrics are about a boy who completely adores his girl crush so much. So he worships the girl and kind of persuades her to be his forever, which is, you know, the call me baby line, which is actually pretty cool. Like the video itself, I was actually surprised that it was relatively like in consideration with everything else that we've checked out by EXO. This was for the most part like a performance video, and the choreography was absolutely wonderful, and the guys did a phenomenal job. The black and white shot was actually kind of interesting, which makes me think that maybe there is a little something there that has to do with their lore, or maybe like double gangers or something, like good and bad EXO red forces and all of that kind of stuff. Like there has to be like a meaning potentially, and even like the white bars, I'm kind of like I remember reading something a while back about like Luna and their storyline, as far as like if it has white bars, it means something specific. So I'm kind of like thinking maybe there's something there, but I really don't know. For the most part, the song was just incredibly fun, and the guys look so fucking majestic and just cool as hell. Like with those leather jackets, like the torn jeans and everything. Like the guys look absolutely wonderful, and like the song itself is such a feel good song. And you know, I would have a hard time imagining anyone not kind of like blushing at EXO saying call me baby to them. So yeah, this was absolutely wonderful. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's incredibly fun, and seeing that this song was released over 8 years ago, I would say that it feels incredibly timeless, because I wouldn't guess unless you told me that the song is from 8 years ago. If I didn't know and you were to tell me that the song is like from 2 years ago, I would be like, yeah, I absolutely believe that. And it's incredibly fun, and definitely kind of like explains why the song is so incredibly popular with over 300, holy shit, over 323 million views. That is actually, does that make it like one of their most popular songs? That is actually kind of crazy. So it really kind of like speaks volumes to their vocal talents, as well as like the choreography of the song, because at the end of the day, this is a performance video, which is really, really cool. So to see that they have that kind of a power with their presence, with their vocals, and with their dancing to basically create a performance video for the most part and still capture such a insane amount of attention is really, really cool. Let's move on to the next music video, which is going to be Love Me Right. As I mentioned in the intro, I am familiar with the song that was covered on Boys Planet, but I'm very, very excited to hear the original, so let's go. Okay, so we have those white bars again. So maybe whenever the white bars pop up, it's like a representation of them just almost like a fantasy of sorts. I don't know. like there's gotta be like a meaning to those white bars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Take your time. 왠지 두근대는 밤이야. No 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 no. So tonight 달 끝까지 달려가 볼까. Yeah 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 yeah. Just right. 시동에.
This visual is kind of reminiscent of NCT 127's AO, right? With the little duet that we had, that all night long line.
So tonight 달 끝까지 달려가 볼까. Yeah 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 yeah. Just right. 시동에 걸어 웩셀에 발을 홀려. 모든 것이 특별해 너 완전 어울려. 무엇을 원하든 I'ma make it work. Yeah. Shorty I'm a party till the sundown. 지금의 신비로운 느낌은 뭘까. 완전 내게로 와서 people are sunrise. 네가 없는 난 어딜 가든 nobody. 도로 위에 여기 long way 날 바라보는 눈속 make it right. Just love me right. Baby love me right. 내게로 오면 설레지만
Red forces. I'm sorry. Do we have like a torn down statue? Yeah. Interesting. I'm not sure though. Interesting. And the red color, I'm thinking of Red Forces again.
난 어딜 가도 반쪽짜리니까 좀 더 높이 날아가볼까 가슴 터질 듯한 이 순간 우리들만 떠올라 발밑에 지구를 두고 let me
Oh, that was beautiful. Whoa. Oh. Damn. Oh, shoot, man. They're working on some formula. And I'm not seeing Walter White, so it's not math, so... Oh, they're working on the love shot. Is this before love shot? Because then that would make sense. Maybe? Okay, this is definitely one of those videos where the song probably doesn't correlate too much with the actual video, like the lyrics with the video. I'm kind of feeling a little bit lost. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but the room with the armless statue, which kind of like reminds me a little bit of like the statues that we saw in the Sherlock music video with Shiny, which we just checked out in a previous video, which one of the statues like represented Aphrodite, which is the Greek goddess of love, which is something that they lack in this video, as we have some of the guys by themselves. We have literally someone on the train tracks, almost like lost your way. We have some of them in the woods, and even though they're lost, we have some of them in pairs finding each other. So it's almost like Love Me Right is not, whereas lyrically, even though I don't see the caption, so I can't really speak too much about the lyrics, but I would feel like lyrically it would feel like a love song that you sing to a love interest, to a girl or something. But within the context of the music video, Love Me Right is like them coming together to fight the forces that are like the red forces, which we see them in that locker room with the football outfits. So, and basically there's nothing but like red lights, which I feel like it's either like them being completely oh wait, that's actually really really cool, because they just had like this football game, so maybe them in the locker room with the red lights, it represents their defeat, which was handed to them by the red forces, like their double gangers and everything. I'm trying to kind of like remember the storyline, but I'm having a little bit of trouble. But if okay, hold up. So if my theory is correct, and they were potentially in that locker room beaten by the red forces, and then it's almost like they felt lost. We have all these various scenes of them being either by themselves or in pairs, but it does represent feeling of defeat, feeling lost, like the train tracks, losing your way in a way. Actually, that would make a lot of sense too. It's almost like they forgot who they were because they were defeated by the red forces, and then they finally found each other. It's almost like by loving me right, by us being together, that's how we can defeat them. So it's almost like power of love is what will help us defeat if we're all united together, and not let one defeat paint a picture of us. Like just because we were defeated once, it doesn't mean that we lost the war. We may have lost the battle, but not the war. So I feel like this video is almost like, in a way, like a high school football movie where the team was defeated and they went into like the spiral, but then towards the end they start to feel, it's almost like this loss will make us stronger than ever potentially, because we lost our way and we had to struggle. There's like a beer bottle, so it feels like in this shot right here. And like the rooms with the headless destroyed statues, and like destroying the beer bottles and everything too, with the baseball bat, the chains, the fence and everything. It really feels like they were defeated, and this is like their redemption story as they go back to who they were. Not necessarily to who they were, but just remember that the only way we can defeat them is by being together. So I don't know, maybe I'm making this shit up as I go, to be honest, but it really feels like they suffered a defeat, and now they're trying to get back on this battle, and they're also working on like this formula, which I feel like is going to be like the my theory is not going to make any sense if this came out. Wait, I'm pretty sure that this came out before Love Shot, so this would actually make a decent amount of sense if what they were working on in those in that formula, it was actually the formula for the Love Shot. That would make a lot of sense, actually. That would be beautiful if that was the case. I don't know though. I really don't know. But I do feel like the visuals definitely represent a lot of like feelings of being defeated, and just losing your way, like the smoke and everything fogged out. My mind is all over the place. I'm lost, and it feels like this defeat made the guys kind of like separate, and it just tore them apart. which is kind of funny because the actual song is probably very romantic if we just look at the lyrics. But and plus the song sounds incredibly romantic and positive and just happy and whatnot. But it's always fun when I take shit out of context and make it super dark. But this is really really cool. Like I don't know what else to say. Let's move on to the next song before I spend another half hour overthinking the shit out of this. Don't Fight the Feeling, which is definitely something that I should tell more. Don't Fight the Feeling. Let's go. Ooh.
불빛의 모든 것이 드러났을 때 외로운 서킷 위로 시작된 주행 모든 걸 잃어봐야 해 You must have made it 그래야 진짜 리얼한 자유를 얻지 댓글쯤에 날려 난 좀 달라서 그거 하나 믿어 yeah 제멋에 취한 채 그럼 좀
Let's go, Kai. I love the bass. Holy shit. Oh.
No place, no town that we can go. 항상 why not 부딪혀
EXO Planet. Okay.
지금 느낀 그게 정답이야. Cause I feel like I'm falling up, baby. 매일 밤 죽어도 아침이면
I love how bouncy this song is. Holy shit.
완고한 이성에 쓸리면 안 돼. 강한 위를 질주해. Oh, baby.
Wanya? God damn. I knew that everything is connected, but damn, still.
Baby, I can be your healing. Tell me where you find the feeling. 삶의 단한번 진짜를 걸고 있어. 난 진심뿐인 걸 알잖아. Just want it a million. 나의 길을 원했어. 그 순간 나를 낮게 놨던 you and I. Don't fight the feeling.
Oh my god. This is such a fun song. Holy shit. Damn. Oh my god. It's a disco party. Holy shit. Wait, that's it? Holy, wait, that felt. Oh, wait, there's. Oh. Okay, so I'm not really sure how well or how much does this song relate to the entire storyline as far as like the video itself goes. As far as like the lyrics themselves, it feels like EXO is almost like speaking to you from a place of making all of those mistakes in terms of don't fight the feeling, don't like lyrics saying I miss how you're fearless and how you climbed up from the bottom, your youth and arrogance, don't fight the feeling. It's almost like don't what you just felt is the right answer. It's almost like don't be afraid of be yourself, whatever. Don't resist the urge to do what feels right. Just love me right. Anyway, it does kind of like in a weird way, kind of relate to Love Me Right as far as like EXO, almost like in their loss against the Red Forces, which is like my theory. They kind of lost themselves and they almost like separated. It was almost like in a way, by the end of it, it felt like the beginning of a redemption arc, and now they're, again, I'm not sure how far. Like this song is much more recent than Love Me Right at the same time, so I'm not sure how well does it relate, but just in the context of it almost feels like they're much more seasoned. So enough time has passed since Love Me Right to a point where they're basically speaking to you from a place of having all of the experience and going through the ups and downs and whatnot. So this song kind of like low key, other than like some mentions of like something that feels romantic or like addressing a girl or something, plus the whole disco-y and the dance floor kind of vibe that the song has. The song actually feels kind of like low-key inspirational and almost like do whatever feels right and don't be afraid of exploring your emotions, and just don't resist the urge to do something out of fear. Just do whatever feels right. Even if I die every night, I breathe in the morning. As Kai is literally resuscitating Schumann. That was a really cool touch. I didn't notice that in the beginning. So it's almost like EXO are coming into this from a place of experiencing the ups and the downs. So we made the mistakes, but we would rather be who we are now after making those mistakes than to live in regret. So don't fight the feeling. Just do whatever feels right. And if you make a mistake along the way, that is just part of life. Which maybe I'm taking it a little bit too far again, but the speed across Kwangya was a really cool line that I'm kind of like losing my mind over. The song itself is so much fun, and like the lyrics, for once in my life I'm betting on the real thing. So maybe like talking about like love or something. Just one in a million. I wanted it to be me, you and I. So yeah, there is something perhaps like a little bit more romantic in this song. Follow your instinct, baby. I mean, yeah, probably. As good as the covers were on something like Boys Planet, the original is just fucking amazing. All of these songs so far have been absolutely incredible. So now that we are done with all three of these songs, let's move on to the pre-release, the brand new song, which was released today as of me recording this reaction. But again, I'm probably going to be a little bit late with when I release this. In any case, Let Me In by EXO. Let's get into it. Run, Forrest, run.
어둠 속으로 사라지는 너 기다려도 숨지 말고
Mr. Rover, a wanderer.
잠겨도 된다만 물결치듯 내게 와줘 너 없이는 별 볼 일 없어져 낮도 밤도 날 같지가 않고 공허한 맘을 파도에 눕힌 채 원하고 있어 이토록 나를 내 품속 더 다니고 싶어 그럴 수만 있다면 날 let me keep cause it's blues 너의 두 눈 Gonna let me in your deep ocean 매일같이 기다려 Hey 네 맘을 벌써 많이 있다면 좀 더 깊이 높이 뜬 파도 몰아세워 거칠 듯이 감쌌지 휩쓸리는 건 계속 내 쪽에서 매번 외면하고 외쳐대도 대책 없이 덮치는 너 이미 여긴 저 태양빛도 닿지 않아 가늠이 안 될 만큼 깊고 외롭지만 널 아는 바다 날 이끄니까 부디 날 삼켜 원하면 어디든 넘어갈게 차라리 이젠 몸을 던져 휩쓸리게 이 감정들에 대한 걱정 따윈 흘려보내 솔직한 말 from deep inside 아직도 넌 뭘 생각해 담기에 넘치는데
Was that a reference to the last scene? Was it the name of the song by Chan, if I'm not mistaken? Because literally the credits roll. Oh, I almost forgot about the superpowers. Yeah, I'm glad that the dog is okay. That was the most important thing. Okay, that was interesting. The scene with Chan and Schumann.
Yeah.
Reversing time. We had asteroids right in Don't Fight the Feeling, if I'm not mistaken, just now. It's okay. That was really interesting, because it's almost like we had like that final credit scene, which I'm pretty sure that the song's name is Last Scene or something among those lines, which is like the last scene of the relationship as far as like Chan's song was, as far as I remember. And it's almost like this song is like reversing disaster by EXO separating. The world is going to collapse or be destroyed all by itself, and it's like somebody is reversing the damage, and therefore is bringing them together. And because we see Chan is basically like, we see the movie theater, we see the end, the credits basically, as it's like the end of the world and also the end of the relationship, as the song, the lyrics talk about having you in my embrace and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of warmth in this song, and it's almost like reversing disaster. And it's almost like the stones, it kind of feels like the stones are in a way a representation of the guys and the weight that they have on one another. I would definitely say that there's a sense of like, no matter what happens, we will kind of like find our way towards each other, as it feels like all of the guys, like with Kai, for example, he's basically like Mr. Rover, who is a wanderer who doesn't have a place to call his home, which kind of makes sense with the music video, as far as like the Red Forces coming after him falling off of that stage, almost like creating the act of disappearance in a way to kind of like kickstart the storyline. Basically, with this comeback, that was kind of like one of my theories, or you guys' theories in the comment section. I'm kind of like getting everything mixed up a little bit, but he's literally like a rover here, and we have all of the guys, whether it's Chen and Schumann too, like they were put in, all of the guys are being put in all of these various situations where it almost feels like our time as a group has ended and we're all separate, and this is the last scene, as the credits roll in the scene with Chuman and Chen in the theater, it almost feels like the further apart we grow from one another, the bigger the consequences are. And it's like maybe the world coming to an end with that rock. The rock like represents each of the rocks represent the members, and maybe the destruction of the earth is like a metaphor of my world will be destroyed if you're not in it. But also, if we don't come and unite as one, the world is going to be destroyed because of the other forces that be, as far as like red forces and all that kind of stuff. Like the bad guys will win if we lose ourselves, and then all of the damage is being reversed. Like all of the dog that could have died when the rock fell on, it's almost like the rock is like the weight of the world that is crushing down because we've separated one from another and our relationship has ended. And then all of that damage is being reversed because our love for each other is stronger than any obstacle that we may face along the way. So if everything, no matter what happens in our lives, we'll always gravitate towards each other. We'll always find our way towards each other. It actually kind of reminds me of Hancock in a way, because no matter where they are, Will Smith's character and Charlize Theron's characters will always gravitate and will always find one another. Only here, there's obviously time manipulation, superpowers, kind of like stuff involved in here, which made me almost like forget about the fact that EXO has superpowers. If one of us goes away, that this whole ship collapses. And there's a really beautiful lyric saying, even if everything stops and I can't see or hear or breathe, I will still make my way to you. So nothing that happens in our lives will actually make us forget about one another. We will always find a way to find each other. So it feels like we almost like saved ourselves from disaster, or maybe like this was like some kind of a weird faith or a prophecy of what would have been, or an alternate universe at which the world comes to an end because we put an end to our friendship or something and we no longer want to fight. And by saying let me in, it's like it's almost like let's be together for whatever it's worth, because it's better than to be apart. Because literally the lyrics say, even if it won't last, let's stay this way, because it would be much better to be together, lose together basically, than to suffer by ourselves. Which is why all of all of these disasters are being reversed. Kai does not lose the dog. This is not the end credits on the scene between Schumann and Chan, right? And all of these other things like the ocean, the rock, and then even the scene, like everything starts with the kid who throws that rock, which prompts this entire thing. But who does the kid represent? Please do let me know in the comment section. But I feel like the song was incredibly emotional. The vocals are absolutely outstanding, and the lyrics are so deep and meaningful, and the visuals, like the most important thing to me is the fact that the dog is okay. Even the lyrics talking about vanishing into the dark, you're gone. Don't hide from me again, struggling, but if you think it's fine, I'm not much without you. Like this is literally a representation of of their love for one another, when what they mean to each other. And if they do separate one from another, that could be like a disaster in terms of like the overall storyline, but also like a more in-depth look at the love that they have one for another, and the fact that they will never leave each other. So that makes me very hopeful of, seeing EXO 10 years from now still being together, and stuff like that. But if we just focus on the lyrics by themselves without the video, there's definitely something a little bit more on the romantic side in a way, but it feels like the end of us is what could be disastrous, which is why the world is ending. So to me, it's more of a metaphor, but in terms of like the overall storyline with EXO and the Red Forces and all that kind of stuff. Us separating one from another and going, splitting up, it could be disastrous as well. But this music video was absolutely beautiful, and it was a wonderful note to end this reaction on. So if I made any sense, let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this reaction, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, check out the rest of my EXO reactions somewhere up there. And I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful rest of the week. See ya.